Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's daily portrait practice. We are going to be sketching from this amazing photo, another one by Don't Smile NYC. I'm wearing a t-shirt, a white t-shirt instead of black, and it's harder to read here. But our muse is the wonderful Rafael Bruce, photographed by Amy Horowitz, and we also worked from a photo of Amy's yesterday, which was this one of True. So you can check out the replay of that. All of the replays, all of the live streams I've ever done are here on my channel. That you can watch them all and draw along. Ingrid is here and Corinna, hello. If you're watching live, then please say hello in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, then say hello in the comments. Rave222, good evening. Let's draw, shall we? I have a reading date with my son, so let's get right into this portrait. I have just spent 2 hours sketching with people, and so I'm warmed up. I know I'm focusing on wet media sketches, and yesterday I was brave enough to go right. I really like this one of Kimberly. I was brave enough to go right to watercolor, but I'm going to start with a drawing today because I feel like I'm warmed up. I've just spent 2 hours sketching, so I'm going to start with the sketch as a foundation and then go right into it. And a few words from Rafael. Hi, I'm Rafael. I'm 26 years old, born in Colorado, grew up in the north of Mexico. That's where I discovered my passion for skateboarding at 13 years old, which led me into the world of art, fashion, and photography. In 2022, I moved to New York City to immerse myself in skateboarding, art, culture, and gastronomy. I focus on street photography and making skateboard films. So cool. Everyone go follow Rafael on Instagram. It's so cool to be in touch with you. I love this aspect of sketching people and getting in touch and just getting to hear part of people's stories, and this way that we get to connect through portraiture and learn about all these great people all over the world. It's super cool and such an honor to connect. So thank you so much to Rafael and to Amy for the opportunity to work from this awesome reference. Let's go, everyone. Pranav, hello. Brigitte, good evening. Tommy, Kiki, Cheryl, Meryl, and Petra. So nice to have you all here. Let's sketch. I'm going to put a timer on just to keep track of myself. And let's say, I just did 6-minute portraits. So let's start with a 6-minute drawing and see what happens. Then I'll put some watercolor on top of it. How is everyone? What have you been doing today? Just had a very fun sketching session. It's always fun. So many great people, so many great stories, and a wonderful dash of absurdity in our storytelling and prompts that we share. Always good fun and good practice. If you have the ability to and haven't been to our Tuesday sketch sessions, I highly recommend it. It's so much fun. It's just great hanging out together with people. I love having you all here in the chat, but it's just so cool being able to talk and see each other and draw each other. It is the most fun. Lewis, hola, nice to have you here. So I really like the shadow down this side of the face here. It's really cool. So just like thinking of shadow shapes like last month, and just thinking like we've got this super clear shape right down here, which is really cool. So I was imagining coming into this with watercolor, how I could just like, oh, here's a nose, bit of a highlight in here, but otherwise it's like it's all shadow shape. So it's interesting depending on the media that we're working with, and in this sense now that I'm thinking about watercolor and how am I going to use watercolor here to see in the reference opportunities for like, oh, okay, I could handle it like this, I could do this, I could do that. It's a really interesting way that the medium that we choose kind of helps us adapt or see things differently that we're going to be working on and drawing or painting. If anyone is interested, I have opened up the second round of mentorship registration. And it's been really cool the last 3 months to be working closely with people, getting to know them and their work really well. And if you feel like you would benefit from a direct, close, working, instructional relationship, there are so many different things that can be catered to, whether it's technical or about building a series or a body of work. There's so much that we can do together, and it's all about you and where you're at and what you choose, what you would like to learn. So if you're interested, please get in touch, and you can check out on my website dylansara.com. There's a mentorship page and a bunch of information there, and I'd love to hear from you. Something going on down here which I feel like there are a lot of cool shapes, but I'm like can sometimes zero in on being like, oh, something's going on with the reference. I think I've put this nose shape like the likeness. I think to put that light shape of the nose maybe a bit too low. And this is something I often catch myself doing while I'll like stretch out the nose and just putting that, like putting more distance between the facial features than there actually is a huge part of transforming either getting the likeness or getting it way off. And if you're able to catch that, then maybe you have an opportunity to have it look a little bit more like the person you're trying to draw. Maybe it's still, to me, sometimes it's a mystery, especially in these like really brief. If you're pushing a time limit, it can be pretty tricky to try and get the likeness right, because at the moment I'm just trying to capture as much information as I can to prepare me to move to the next stage, grabbing the watercolor. But sometimes it's interesting, like the lines that are left behind when you make these decisions and adjust and change things, that there can be these interesting kind of ghost lines, a record of decisions changed, and a record of an alternate series of potential marks that we could have made. So yeah, I've just had a little look on Rafael's Instagram, really excited to check out more, and now to be following you and just see like what your journey brings, and the story of moving to New York to follow your interest and passion is very inspiring and wonderful. And I look forward to seeing what you get up to there. 1 second left. Okay. Rave 222. You're good. Someone who lives close by has allowed you to borrow their horse to ride in the woods now and then. Very excited for that. That's the highlight of your day. That is very, very cool. Isadora Atua. Bonsoir. Horse riding. So that was 6 minutes. Let's move to the wet media. Where did I put it? Over here. My 6-year-old has it's like the Easter break here, spring break, and this week she's going to a stable, and it's very sweet. All right, what colors am I going to use? I really like the green and red thing that's been going on recently, so I think I'll probably go with that. But maybe I could flip it around. I could make it different. I could use a different green and a different red. That could be interesting. So yeah, I went to pick her up from the horse stable today, and she was walking with this little white pony. It was shorter than her, which was amazing. Such a sweet little animal. Yeah, and in the drawing session, we were just talking about horses because I was talking about this. So it's so interesting that you now have the opportunity to be with this horse. And for a long time, I've never really had a close relationship to any horses. But I appreciate the relationships that people do have, and I think it's really interesting. The first time I really appreciated someone's, like the depth of connection that people can have to horses, was in Australia, and someone who grew up so close to where I grew up, but obviously had a very different youth than I did, had a horse, and she said that every morning before school she would go riding around the countryside, and it was quite beautiful country there. And I just imagine, I don't know, what did I woke up, ate cereal, and watched Dragon Ball Z before going to school. And so while I was doing that, this person was out on the land with this horse. And yeah, the way she talked about her relationship to the horse was really amazing. And I had no idea that like horses are people too. And it was very interesting to get to know her and hear her story. And also how the relationship of people to horses has changed so much. Like even in just the past 100 years, the reliance that people used to have on these beautiful sentient beings. And now a lot of the horse relationship has been shifted to like it's not like a day-to-day, there's a German word, a Nutztier, like an animal that people use, like this working relationship that people would have had to the animals back in the day. All right, what am I doing now? Red, some other red. I could do all right, I've got this alizarin crimson, which I'm going to use. This is not a flat brush, you may notice. Most of the time I use flat brushes, but last year I got this brush because my friend Gries, who has this signature paint set, it's very clever marketing. If you have friends who have art supplies, then yeah, like why not get their art supplies? So this is also the Gries signature brush, and it's pretty fancy and cool with its transparentness. Gries encouraged me to do more, be more like daring with my watercolor, because Gries often would come and still come sometimes to the Tuesday drawing sessions, and he was our guest on the Drawn Together show a couple of years back now, it seems. And I remember talking to him saying, I'm just a lot less confident with watercolor than I am with ink or with drawing. I remember Chris saying, but you draw so fast. Why not just do a quick drawing and then put some watercolor on it, see what happens? And so that's what's happening right now. It's kind of been a long time coming, the build up to this kind of practice of sketching in wet media. And I have done some live streams in the past where I've focused on trying to do 10-minute portrait sketches and stuff. I didn't put a timer on after the 6 minutes went off. That's all right. But it's it's interesting to kind of push it to see what I can do in a brief space of time. Tommy, watercolor question. How do you remember the names of colors in your watercolor box? I've forgotten. That is how. I don't remember the names. But because this is a signature set, I know I can look it up. I wrote it down somewhere. I actually taught a course using these paints, so while I was teaching that, then the names were all fresh. I'd be like, let's get the quinacridone red light, let's get the brilliant opera rose, and now I'm kind of like, indigo, that's definitely indigo, that's ultramarine blue, that's alizarin crimson. I need to read the names again, because I'm like, that green. What is this green? I don't even know. I'll do a refresher. I will come back. I'll be able to answer that question once I find the list. I can tell you what these colors are. It's good to know, because then I could be like, today I'm using this color and this color, if people are interested. But basically, I'll just say use something kind of similar if you're trying to get similar results. Alizarin crimson, ultramarine, I remember I use them a lot and I really like the mix. So that's how I know that one. I'm not sure about the red I added. I really liked the pureness of the green on this side. But just trying things. Stephanie, you have 2 horses. They are the great loves of your life, but near impossible to draw well. Horses are so hard to draw. Oh yeah, and Rave, that those morning horse outings, they do sound amazing. You're surrounded by them out here in the countryside. You don't even need your own. Yeah, it does sound like an amazing magical morning ride. Imagine, like, I was out early this morning and it was cold, a little bit icy, and just there's something special about the crispness of the morning, and then just be out there as the world wakes up. Very cool. Okay, I think that's about it for today. This is pretty cool. I liked going in with the strength of that initial drawing, the brief drawing. And I have a book to read with my child. I have a date. And this was really fun. Once this dries, I'll probably do some more drawing on top, but I'm kind of happy with it, how it is. If you are drawing along and you're not on the Discord server yet, I would love you to join, because I'm sharing daily reference there and it's super cool. I love seeing people share their work there. And of course you can tag me on Instagram as well. Where are we? Here. That's me, Dylan Sara. Tag Rafael and tag Amy at Don't Smile NYC, because we'd all love to see your work. Here we go. Here's the link. To the Discord server. And I would love to see you here again every day. So see you tomorrow. Sap Green. It could be Sap Green, Cheryl, maybe. Is Greece the biblical government name? No, actually. Wait a minute. I was like, the biblical government name? What? No. Greece is not on his birth certificate, but it is on his box of paints. Oh, Stephanie created a Google sheet and mapped out the palette colors in there so you'd remember them. Cadmium green. No, it's not cadmium green. I'd remember that. I think this is maybe lemon yellow and cad yellow light, and I think that's the only cadmium here. And I remember because cadmium is not a healthy thing. But I'll get back and tell you. There's also, this is called neutral tint, which I think is a funny name. This is indigo. There are 2 different kinds of ultramarine. I don't know what that is. I'll let you know. I'll find out and let you know. Bonsoir. Daniel. Put a drawing hand emoji in the chat if you made it. What color is my hand in this light? Put a drawing hand emoji in the chat. And if you've made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. You are incredible. Thank you for drawing with me. May Green, maybe May Green. Kiki probably knows because you did the course. So maybe you remember. It could be May Green. Is Greece Scandinavian? Greece is German, which is close to Scandinavia. Stephanie, your name just changed from Stephanie Stevens to dressage artist in this chat. It changed. That's amazing. Thank you for all those drawing hands. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll do this again every day. Thank you so much, Rafael and Amy. And thank you to all of you for being here and for watching. If you made it all the way to the end and you're watching the replay, thank you so much. See you next time. I'm about to go reading and I'm sure I'm going to love it. Thank you, everyone. Take care.